The pull-up. The pull-up is one of the most popular performance goals out there, and many people, potentially yourself included, want to achieve getting their first pull-up. Or if you're already doing 1 or 2 pull-ups, then you want to add to that tally as well. So throughout this video, I'm going to explain to you which exercises you want to prioritize when it comes to helping you get your first pull-up, which muscles you want to focus on most, which I guess comes under the same umbrella, as well as cover some Q&As towards the end about the pull-up. And I'm going to also include what you could be doing about your nutrition to help with pull-up related performance goals. Now, in addition to all of that, you're probably wondering who I am. So I am an online coach. I used to be a personal trainer as well, but now I only do online coaching. I have a master's in strength and conditioning, and the pull-up is something I am incredibly comfortable with doing. I've done a personal best of about 15 clean pull-ups and also done pull-ups with about 30 kg strapped to me. So again, very comfortable with them. And I have also helped many people get their first pull-up too, and now it's your turn to understand how you can get there as well. Otherwise, let's just get stuck into the video. Although I do quickly want to say, if you're not subscribed to the channel already, then please do subscribe because it helps immensely. And don't just listen to me say that, actually subscribe. Otherwise, let's just get stuck in. So first of all, let's talk about the difference between a pull-up and a chin-up. So the pull-up uses something called a pronated grip, which is where the palm of your hands face away from you. And then the chin-up uses something called a supinated grip, which is where the palms of your hand face towards you. So that's a chin-up, that's a pull-up. And then you could also use something called a neutral grip, which is where you hold something that's like going to have your hands in the middle. So when it comes to the highest amount of muscle activation within the pull-up, I did find an interesting study from 2018 by Jennifer Hewitt, I do hope I pronounced that surname correctly, where her and her colleagues measured muscle activation within the pull-up, and they found that there were 4 main muscles used within the pull-up, and these were in order from most to least. First being the most, fourth being the least, was the core, first of all, second, the biceps, third, the lats, and fourth, so it was still used a lot, but the least compared to the others was the mid and lower traps. So this therefore means that if you're looking to achieve your first pull-up or you're looking to add to your tally, then you would do well to focus on strengthening those 4 muscles. So this brings me nicely onto the next section of the video, where I'm going to name a few exercises that you would do well to prioritize when it comes to achieving your first pull-up. So exercises you would do well to prioritize, and I say prioritize because of course I don't want you to ignore all the other muscle groups. You should still do them, but again, exercises you would do well to prioritize for as long as you're consistent and you're progressively overloading is, I'm gonna name first of all, pull-up regressions, because pull-up regressions make a lot of sense because these are like exercises that are probably the closest thing to the pull-up without actually doing the pull-up yet. In no particular order are dead hangs, inverted rows, eccentric pull-ups, so where you just control the way down, flexed arm hangs, so it's like an isometric hold at the top, as well as banded pull-ups. And as I would have mentioned earlier, you might have noticed that most of these are pulling exercises such as the inverted row or isometric holds such as the flexed arm hang. Now, while we're on the subject of muscles and exercises, I did quickly want to interrupt this video to let you know about my free full body workout plan. So if you want a free full body workout plan, then click the link that's going to be in the caption of this video. That link will take you to my website, and from my website, you can grab it. Now let's get back to the video. And then other exercises that you would do well to potentially include in your workout program when it comes to getting your first pull-up that aren't pull-up progressions are exercises such as the dumbbell row, the lat pull down, the kneeling lat pull down, and I would definitely include the kneeling lat pull down. And the reason why is because the study that I referenced earlier actually found that the kneeling lat pull down had similar levels of muscle activation to an actual pull-up. So there could be great carryover there. And then you could also potentially look at working on your grip strength as well, because of course there's going to be a lot of grip strength involved. So maybe include things such as farmer's walks or suitcase carries. And otherwise, those are a bunch of exercises that you would do well to look at including in your workout program, be consistent with, and progressively overload over time. No, it wasn't a be all and end all list, because of course there's other exercises out there as well that could potentially help you get your first pull up. But again, they were a good bunch of exercises that you should consider including within your workout program somewhere. And no, you don't have to include every single one because I know I named a bunch, but potentially look at including at least a few. Now, when it comes to common Q&As regarding the pull-up, the most common questions I get is, does body weight matter, or is it even something I should focus on when it comes to getting my first pull-up? And what should I do about my nutrition? So I'm going to cover those 2 questions. So now when it comes to the first question, does body weight matter when it comes to doing your first pull-up? The answer is yes, it does. So let's say you've got two people, one weighs 70 kg, one weighs 110 kg. It's going to be much easier for the person who weighs 70 kg to do the pull-up because they're lifting less weight than the person who's 110 kg. And that 110 kg person, it doesn't necessarily have to mean someone who is overweight or obese. It could be someone who is carrying around a lot of muscle mass as well. Of course, if you're carrying more muscle mass, chances are it might likely be easier because it's muscle and you're strong, but it's still going to be tough because you weigh more. And I've met people like this who are very strong, carrying around a lot of muscle, and they struggle to lift their body weight up because again, 110 kg is heavy, it's not easy. So that's something to think about as well. So if you've got, let's say, a lot of weight to lose, then you would ideally want to look at losing weight first before getting your first pull-up. And of course, I understand that that is much easier said than done, but it's the truth, so I do have to mention that. And if you're looking to lose weight, but you have no idea where to start, then I do have a video that outlines here exactly what you should be focusing on when it comes to setting up a weight loss journey. And if this is you, while you're on a weight loss journey, instead of focusing on doing a bodyweight pull-up just yet, instead, for now, for the coming weeks or months or even the next year, focus on strengthening some of the muscles I mentioned earlier, such as the core, the biceps, the lats, or the traps, as well as including some of the exercises that I mentioned earlier within this video. And obviously that's going to help you tremendously down the line and once you do feel strong and light enough to do your first pull-up. So now the second question, what should I do about my nutrition when I'm trying to do my first pull-up? And that's a very good question as well, because nutrition is important and it does play a big role, maybe more than you might think. So I'm going to break this section down into calories and then protein. So when it comes to calories, first of all, it does depend on your starting point. So like I mentioned earlier, if you feel like you've got a lot of weight to lose, then of course, for the time being, you want to be in a calorie deficit. But if you feel like you're at a reasonable body weight to be able to do your first pull-up, and maybe you just lack the strength right now, then I would focus on being at around maintenance or a slight calorie surplus. And I would ideally go for the slight calorie surplus because a slight calorie surplus is the ideal condition for your body to be in when it comes to gaining strength and muscle. And of course, if you have an easier time gaining strength and muscle, then of course you're going to have an easier time getting your first pull-up. So that's ideally where you want to be when it comes to calories. Now, when it comes to protein intake of course is important for building muscle, gaining strength, recovery, etc., etc. I'm going to give you two options here. So two formulas that you can potentially use, either aim for 0.7 to a gram per pound of body weight or a gram per centimeter of height. And then when it comes to the answer of both of those equations, you might find that they both equal similar numbers, and if so, great, just aim for either one. Or you might find that maybe one is a lot higher than the other. And if that's the case for you, then I would just aim to pick whichever one you feel like you can be most realistically consistent with. Okay, don't feel like you have to tough it out and automatically pick the higher one. If you feel like one is just unrealistically high, that's okay, aim for the other one. Because at the end of the day, consistency is more important than anything. Otherwise, that is it for today's video. I do hope you found this video helpful. Implement the tips and tactics that I would have mentioned throughout. And if you do implement them and you are consistent with them, maybe 2, 3, 4 months down the line, I would love to hear how you've gotten on with it. Maybe comment below with how you've gotten on, or email me leo@kairos.online and let me know about your progress as well. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please do subscribe. Maybe follow me over on social media. Share this video with your group chat or someone you know wants to get their first pull-up as well. Take care, and I'll see you around.